Hello, everyone. My name is Mimi Mifo, and you can already see that I'm here with my guest for today. We want to discuss about Cameroon, and we believe that we cannot only give the voice to politicians, to people aspiring to be candidates. We also believe that young Cameroonians have to be given that voice to speak and express themselves and tell us what they think about not just politics, but also the future of the country, what could possibly be their role, and where are things going wrong according to their own way of looking at things, and where can the things or the wrongs be corrected, and who is responsible for what, and where do they come in? Do they even feel involved? Do they even feel like they are part of the decision making processes in Cameroon? Do they feel like they even want to be part of it? If yes, why? And if no, why? So today we have Mr. Oliver Nshom. He has been helping thousands of people across the world, in different parts of the world, training them particularly in the domains of public speaking. He's a motivational speaker. He's a Cameroonian, to be very specific. He is young and he is resident in the US. Mr. Oliver, maybe you tell us a little bit about yourself before we proceed. How are you? Happy Sunday.
Hi, Mimi. Happy Sunday. I'm a keynote speaker, the founder of the Cameroon National Speakers Association, the Texas Institute of Public Speaking, the African Inclusive Institute of Public Speaking, and of course, Talks USA.
So where are you based in the US, and how is it doing? How is the US today?
The US today is pretty good, based in Minneapolis. That's the capital of Minnesota,
Mhm.
one of the states in the United States.
Okay. So what do you do other than being a public speaker? What else do you do in the US?
I am currently a pilot student, learning how to fly planes, and I
Pilot
just,
student. That's
yeah.
amazing. So did you study that in Cameroon, or you just decided to study that when you arrived the US?
Um, I decided to study that here in the United States because I saw the need for Cameroonians to have more pilots, uh, both to serve the country and beyond.
Oh, that's good to hear. So we want to welcome you today. This is Talk with Mimi Mefo, our YouTube platform where we bring people from different walks of life to talk about Cameroon. And this year is particularly crucial because we have a presidential election coming up. And we've had a lot of heated debates in the past few days. Politicians coming to tell us their agenda, some of their documents that have been rejected by the elections governing body ELECAM. Some have been accepted. But having a young person, we are looking forward to hearing things from a very different perspective. When you see what is happening in Cameroon today, and the way young people, before we come to the reactions of young people, generally with the political atmosphere now, how do you feel watching all the way from the US? How are you feeling about it as a Cameroonian?
Well, Mimi, I must say, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to be with you in this platform. I've been being your fan and observing what you've been doing for a couple of years, and I appreciate your effort to build Cameroon and Africa. And I just want to say thank you, first of all. Um, Secondly, as a professional speaker, it's our responsibility to be able to show up in moments like this, to exercise our responsibility as speakers that speak to nations, that give hope to lives across the earth. And I must really confess that it's a very tense atmosphere, not only in the country, Cameroon, but for in the hearts of all Cameroonians around the world who really love the
Mm.
country, who love their country. It is a very challenging moment, and I believe it is in actually moments like this where we bet the next generation of Cameroon. And it's
Mm.
an opportunity for us young Cameroonians not to run away from the heat, from the tension, but to run towards it, because we are redefining history, we are redefining the status quo, we are redefining the next generation of Cameroon. And I want to say that first of all, kudos to all Cameroonians who are in Cameroon right now, and those who have been praying, and those who have been doing everything to register, so that on the 12th of October, they can actually go to the polling station and vote and decide who is going to be the next president of Cameroon. I want to say
So
kudos to them.
when you talk about prayers,
Mhm.
what is your own prayer at the moment as a young Cameroonian?
Uh, I believe that at the moment, we don't need more prayers now. We need action.
Mm.
We have prayed already, Mimi, and we will continue praying, but this time I believe prayers without work will not make God do the job. So we have to partner with God and take the action. And the action I'm talking about here is not about three actions or two actions, but it's about one action. The action is for us to register as young Cameroonians, both abroad and in the country, and go and
Mm.
vote on the 12th of October. That's the action. Because no matter how much we pray, if we don't act, God is not going to act in our behalf if we don't do what is supposed to be done in terms of action. So I believe that we have been praying, mothers have been praying in villages and churches, leaders have been organizing prayer crusade and prayer conferences, different denominations. We've been praying. And of course, personally, I've been praying for the country. And at this time, we need to pray by voting, by registering to vote. And I think that is the next phase of action or next part of the prayers we get into.
Yeah, so many Cameroonians have already registered. So the next phase should be about voting. Like, okay, those who already have the electoral cards should be able to make sure that they put everything into action and go to the polling stations on October 12th and vote. But when we talk about voting, we have 13 candidates, including incumbent President Paul Biya himself, who's been there for 43 years. Young people today are looking at a new generation of leadership, something different, something promising, something like change completely. That's what young people in Cameroon are saying. But if I should ask someone here, like you, Oliver, when you say, okay, people should not pray, but they should act, and if they take action, what kind of results are you expecting at the end of the day?
So today I came here. I like the way you introduced me. I came here not as a politician, which I am not. I came
Mhm.
here as a young Cameroonian who loves the country and who want to see things happen in the way that young people can be given opportunities. Young people can be able to live their dreams, fulfill their potentials, and which is the cry of every young person who might be listening to us right now. Uh,
Right.
Talking about the hope, the future from this election, the truth is that um, young
You
people,
like you laugh like you don't. There's no hope at all.
this is the truth, Mimi. A frustrated young man is very, very dangerous, and an awakened young man is unstoppable. Right now, the young people in Cameroon, they are getting to the state of almost getting very frustrated. And when they become frustrated, it becomes very dangerous, very, very
Mhm.
dangerous. But if they are awakened, they can become unstoppable. And I think my mission here, my responsibility here, or my assignment here is to help them to be awakened. And by that, I mean, irrespective of the number of candidates that have shown up, which is not really what I'm here to talk so much about, irrespective of the person that will be elected finally on the 12th of October as the next president of Cameroon. What
Mhm.
is also very important is for our young people to be awakened so that they can become unstoppable. And how is that possible? For that to happen, they have to play their own role. And by playing their own role, they don't have to sit and fold their arms and complain. And that is because Tim Grover said something very powerful, Mimi. He said that if you think that the price of ignorant. The price of education, the price of knowledge, the price of knowledge or education is expensive. Wait for the bill of regret.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's inspiring.
Yeah. So if
But
you think that the price of education or the price of knowledge is expensive, wait for the bill of regret. For me, I could interpret, people could interpret in different ways, but for me, I interpret it this way. If you think the price of taking the right decisions, the price of love, the price of taking smart decisions, the price of being wise now as a
yeah.
young person in Cameroon is expensive, wait until you're not wise. Wait until you're not taking the right decisions. Wait
Mhm.
until you have not played your role to regret or to pay the bill of regret. And so, what that means to me is that as a young
Mhm.
person, wherever you are, as you're a Cameroonian, you have to exercise your responsibility by registering and voting to decide who is going to be the next president of Cameroon, or you wait and pull your arms and regret after.
Okay, you've talked about wisdom, which is something very important. When we are talking to young people and wisdom is mentioned, it's very key in the sense that we have a generation of young Cameroonians without jobs, without opportunities, without access to basic needs like potable water, electricity, and even internet connectivity. And this is the digital age. But internet and connectivity is a big problem in Cameroon. Um, if you were to advise them, because you've clearly said you are not a politician, but you can also kind of give them an advice of wisdom, like you mentioned. If you were to tell them what to do when it comes to choosing leadership, like the kind of decision they should take, what would you tell them? What should they take into account when they are going to pick that ballot paper? What would you tell them?
I would say they should not focus more on politics alone, because politics alone does not really build a country. What builds a country is the people of the country that builds a country, that will build a country, and the decision they are taking, their potentials, their talent, their abilities, they need to be empowered. So what I would say is this, Mimi. I used to say that at times our young people don't really need opportunities, but they need education on how to use opportunities. There are a lot of people listening to us right now as our young people that they have once had opportunities in the past. They have trusted opportunities in their hand, and many of them were abusing. You know why they are
Mhm.
abusing? Because they don't have the right mindset, the right skill set, the right tool set to be able to execute these opportunities. I was born and bred in Cameroon. I grew up in Cameroon in this studies, in this struggle, Mimi. I've gone through a lot of struggles and pain in my life. I building my speaking career from Cameroon. I started in 2010. You know what I mean? And everybody told me that, Oliver, you could not make it in Cameroon as a professional speaker. People could not pay you in Cameroon to speak. And I promised myself that no matter what happened, I was going to make it in Cameroon as a professional speaker. And guess what, Mimi? From 2010 to 2023, I spoke in Cameroon for 13 years. I never made up to $1,000 US. I never make up to around 600,000 francs from speaking.
Mhm.
That was 13 years of speaking in Cameroon. Douala to Garoua to Marawa to the east to the west. And what that means is that it's not about politics alone for us to emerge, for us to become
Mhm.
a
Mhm.
successful nation. It's about
Mhm.
you and
It's
myself
about you.
deciding
Mm.
to empower ourselves, equip ourselves,
Hmm.
train
Yeah, but
ourselves.
but Oliver, those who are involved, like the determiners of our future, are the politicians. Those who are making the decisions, those who are supposed to decide what our future holds, they are the politicians. They hold our futures in their hands. They decide what the future is for us. They are deciding who should be candidate or who shouldn't. Whether you like it or not is interconnected. In one way or the other, we have to deal with it. We have to work with the politicians in a way. We have to come across them. We have to deal with them. We have to talk about them. But I also wanted us to take a look at those who now are representing us, the young people, the young Cameroonians,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to the 2025 presidential election. Those who have been mentioned, I know that there will be some appeals being made at the constitutional courts, there will be litigations and so on. But the files that have been accepted already, when you look at it as a young Cameroonian who
Mm-hmm.
inspires others, are you inspired? How do you feel about it?
Great. Well, I can't dispute the fact that the role of politicians for us to emerge, for us to become a great nation like Cameroon, uh, is not important. It's very, very important because leadership is very important. Like leadership is almost everything. It determines how fast we can go and how slow we can go. When I look at the list of the candidates already there, honestly speaking, I cannot really say much about that because for me, I look at it from the perspective of the youth themselves. Uh, you know, President J.F. Kennedy, one of the American presidents, said something very powerful. Maybe he said, um, "Do not ask yourself what a country has done for you. You know, ask yourself what you've done to your country." It is from
Mm.
that angle I am looking at things. I've never for a single second asked myself, what have Cameroon done for me? That's why I've never applied for any public jobs or works or whatever compose. Not because they're not important. They're important because I've always asked myself, what have I done for Cameroon? What can I do for my country? And that's why I founded the organizations I founded. That's why I've been training over 23,000 speakers since
So,
2010.
so do you think six leadership change is important for young Cameroonians? Do you think election is even important in the first place, given that so many young people like yourself have tried to thrive by themselves, have tried to fend for themselves, look for their own future by themselves? Does leadership in Cameroon even matter to young people?
Great question. Uh, Being a young person who have experienced the same thing, Mimi, young Cameroonians, when you listen to them talk, you see frustration. You feel it. You know, when you go to the social media space like Facebook, you see they're venting their frustration already online. And we cannot honestly say there's no problem. We cannot
Mm,
always say that. The fact is that um, there is the leadership in Cameroon is not what really young people are expecting, because we have a lot of thousands of university graduates that are loitering around the street and looking for opportunities that they desire, they crave, they yearn,
mm,
and they have never gotten those opportunities. And the route to Europe, the route to America is flooded by lots of Cameroonians who are struggling to come out of the country and leave the country at every cost. And parents struggle a lot. They borrow money in Jangi houses. They sell land, they do stuff to help their kids. But at the end of the day, how does it feel like when a father struggle and borrow money and educate a daughter and son, and after graduation, there's no work, there is no food. That is so embarrassing to me. And so the point I'm making is that irrespective of what the government of Cameroon is doing, irrespective of what the system is doing, I still believe that leadership in Cameroon is not where it's supposed to be. That is the fact. It's not where it's supposed to be. There is a huge potential in Cameroon as level of leadership, and I believe a lot that something needs to be done. And this is the opportunity for that thing to be done. This is an opportunity, this is an open check for you and I, Mimi, as young Cameroonians, and to everybody watching us to make the decision. And the
mm,
decision we are going to make is not America or Europe that will come and make it for us. We are the
mm,
one to make it. And that's why we have to make it. And how do we make this decision? We have to decide the next president of Cameroon. Because, for instance, if we like, okay, we want a different president, we want a new change, then it's not uncles and aunties from abroad that will come and help us to make that new change. We are the
mm.
one. And if we
So
don't
let
do
me
it,
let me ask you let me ask you a question, Oliver. You can decide to answer or not.
yeah,
If President Pobia is re-elected, how will you feel?
how will I feel? Well, I can't actually say, Mimi, because, I can't predict the future in this conversation, right?
Mm,
But what I believe is that purpose override everything. So purpose override everything. So I believe so much in building, making Cameroon a team, building a team of young people in Cameroon who want to make the difference and not blaming neither the young people or the government, because there is no change that can come from just blaming, but I believe in building. So as a builder, as someone who is, as a young person who wants to encourage other young people, so we make a team and build Cameroon together. I don't want to see like a blame. So to answer your question, I can't say, but I believe that the future is bright.
The future is bright.
Yes.
Hopefully, the future gets brighter. I also just wanted to, apart from politics, let us come back to you to just ask you, how do you feel like, as a young Cameroonian, trying to make a career? You already are into public speaking, but also you want to be a pilot. How do you feel like trying to make this dream happen far away from home in the US? Do you feel like you belong, or at the back of your mind, you keep feeling like, oh, I want to go back home someday. I am doing this for my country, Cameroon. I know you've said that earlier, but just to understand a little bit why you would go that far to be able to make that career that you want to happen. How does it feel like for you?
Okay, great question. Mimi, I believe that home is home. You know, uh, there are people that they have. I believe that there are people that even if they go to Harvard and if they had the opportunity to come back to life, they will still want to choose their home countries. And
Mm.
so, irrespective of where you are, home is home, because where you're born and bred up is very important. Why? Because there you have your relations, you have most of your relatives, the people you grew up seeing them, playing with them, doing stuff with them, they're right there. But this is my point, Mimi. Um, I always see myself as an ambassador of Cameroon wherever I go. And I do everything to defend my country. The truth is this, Mimi. America is tough. Did you hear that? America is not an easy country. You need to work hard to survive in this country. You need to be very hardworking. Before I used to come and visit America, I just go back to Cameroon. I visit, I go back. But this time around that I came, I had to study, I had to work. Boy, America is tough, man. It's not easy.
Mm.
And so you cannot be lazy and survive in this country. And from the first day I entered America, for the over 1 year and 1 month I've been here, every single second, Mimi, my mind is in Cameroon. My mind is in Cameroon, not necessarily because that's where I was born alone. But that's where
Mhm. Mhm.
you know it's because I know the struggles of young Cameroonians, because I'm one of them. I know the challenges they go through every single day, and I've been in that position. And so every single do you know that before coming here, I brought speakers from Germany, from different parts of the world, to come to Cameroon and do trainings together with me. And that's the same thing that we are doing right now. Like, I'm hoping, working with, being a part of the National Speakers Association, Mimi. So I have a team of speakers, American speakers, that I want to take them to Cameroon probably after the election, so we can train young people from different regions and all of that. You know what I'm doing?
Mhm.
That I'm not doing that. Anybody's paying me for that. No, that's my
Mhm.
way to get back to Cameroon, because I believe young people in Cameroon, they need hope right now. Many of them are almost hopeless, and this
Yeah.
is time for that hope to be restored. And we have been praying, and I believe that the time has come for the breakthrough, the miracles, and for everything we've been praying for to happen, because this is the moment and this is the season.
And yes, you've been
So
praying for that hope so that you can, yeah.
say that. So Mimi, I grew up. I used to, when I was a young boy growing up, I had two dreams: to become a global speaker and to become a pilot. But the pilot dream was a silent one. So I was inspired. I asked myself in the morning when I was growing up in the Northwest region, in Bukude, when I in the night I would hear planes flying in the sky. When I would get up to see the plane that's flying, I will not see the plane. I will just see probably a line on the cloud. Maybe you've explained what you know what I'm talking about. And to do so, I want
Yes,
you know.
of course.
You
We
see the
continue to see that line till today. So
thank you so much. And I kept asking myself, who are the kind of people operating this kind of complicated, sophisticated devices? And I just challenged myself, one day I will not only enter this device, this electronic tool, but I'll be able to manage it. And I'm excited. I did my first flight and it was so cool. So I'm not doing this plane or pilot stuff for myself. I want young Cameroonians to dare. I want young Cameroonians to believe, because your expectation into life, your expectation into the meeting will determine what you get out of the meeting, will determine what you get out of life, and not what was said in life or not what was said in the meeting. What that means is that if you have no vision, if you have no dream, you have no ambitions, you can't get as much as life has to offer to you. But if you come in with so much of expectation, you will get more. People watching this right now, if they just came to listen, they might not get anything from what we're saying. We're saying a lot of things. But if they came with expectation that they will not leave this conversation without restoring their hope, they would eventually happen. Mimi, let me break it down a little bit. I'm a man of faith. And what that means is that I'm a Christian, right? That fortunately today is Sunday, and some people might now are going to church. They can benefit from this. Jesus had the opportunity and the potential to heal everybody that he came across. Then you know what, Mimi? It's not everybody that encountered Jesus was healed. Not everybody that met Jesus was healed. You know why? It's because some people's faith was less and some people's faith was higher. What that means to a young Cameroonian right now watching us from any part of the country, from the northwest, from Bamenda or the west region to the east, from the south to the north, what that means is that your expectation as a Cameroonian will determine what you get from Cameroon as a Cameroonian. And that's why if you don't have any expectation, if you don't have any vision, any dream, boy, you will not get anything. And that's why I'm doing piloting, is because I had expectations that I want to be that young Cameroonian that will inspire other young Cameroonians to dream, to dare, because we can only get out of life how much we are able to dare, to believe, and to dream. And that's why I've never limited my goals. I've never limited myself. Imagine a young boy from Bamenda, Mimi, growing up, who dropped out from school 7 times without any hope to ever have a high school degree, eventually becoming a pilot, learning how to fly planes after a successful speaking career of 15 years. How is that possible? Father being a traditional doctor, mother being a poor farmer. The first to ever have O level in the family, both in the mother and father side. The first to ever have advanced level in the family, both in the mother and father side.
So that only tells us that if you dream and believe and have the ambition and commitment, you can make it based on your story.
Exactly. And that is my message to young Cameroonians right now. The message is that you may be too frustrated right now because you don't know where you're going to. And that's why a man without a vision is a very dangerous man. And that, I don't like working with people who don't have vision, because when you have a vision and another person doesn't have, you can succeed and they'll start blaming you that you use them. And I believe that is one of the problems that our young people, we are facing. They just live life. They don't have a 5-year strategic action plan for themselves. They don't have a 10 years plan. If you interview young people in the street of Cameroon right now, ask them, who do you want to become in the next 10 years? Maybe you'll be shocked what an average of young Cameroon will be telling you.
And even probably if you ask them, why do you prefer this candidate and not the other?
Yeah. You get the
What
point.
would they say?
So
what is this candidate offering that the other is not offering? Who would you want to go with? I mean, during the election.
Exactly.
That also be quite interesting to
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the point is that they should not be emotional. They should be bold. They should. Now, my candidate, all right. I don't want to say my candidate here. I'm gonna put Mimi.
We want to know who your candidate is. We have just 1 minute to go.
Now, this is
Tell us who your candidate is.
My
1 minute to go.
Is that person, is that political leader who has that blueprint for every young Cameroonian, from a poor background, from a rich background, from an average income.
Who is that leader out of the 13?
Flourish.
Is it Shiruma?
I said my candidate is that person who has this blueprint that I've just said.
Yeah, but you have not mentioned a name.
Yeah, of course it is. I can decide not to mention the name of my candidate. So I'm saying that my candidate is that person whom I've studied his own plan. And of course, I'm still studying the other people's plan. We have 13 candidates right now, and I'm still doing my final studies to conclude on which of them I'm going to vote for based on the plan he has for the future, based on the vision I have for Cameroon.
Maybe based on who your candidate is, we can be able to make an informed decision, given that you take your time, you have a lot of wisdom. Who knows, you can inspire some of us.
Hopefully, but I really love to see also young people have given the opportunities maybe to lead Cameroon this time around. I think that as a young Cameroonian, if we could have more young people into this, that would be so amazing. And this young man, I really admired him so much in Cameroon. Unfortunately, he has not been given the opportunity. This guy, Dr. Michael, um, uh, Michael, he wanted to run, but he never had the resources to put in for the 300 million or 30 million.
It's
Uh,
30 million, yes.
I love his courage. I love his courage so much. I aligned with his perspective of leadership. And unfortunately, he was not among the 30. So I still have to make a decision right now. I'm in a tight
Okay.
Mimi, I'm in a tight situation
So
right now.
when you've made your decision, we have to be able to maybe have this conversation again and get to know, yeah, what exactly you stand for. But before we go, do you have any final words?
Of course, I do. So my final word to every young Cameroonian right now watching us, be a Muslim, be a Buddhist, be a Christian, is that you have to stay focused, you have to be wise, and you have to be resilient. You know, the most darkest part of the night is between 3 and 4 a.m. in the morning. You know why? It's because that is at the breaking of the day. And so, no matter the challenges you're going through right now, you may feel like giving up by not voting, by not registering to even vote. I want to let you know that if you miss this opportunity, we are not redefining the next generation of Cameroonians. So the most darkest part of the night is between 3 a.m. and 4. What that means is that we are almost at the breaking of the day. And this is where I think Cameroon is right now. We're at the most darkest. And so there is tension, there is fear, there is hopelessness, there is frustration, there is desperation. But let's stay focused, let's be smart, wise, and not too emotional. Let's make
Yeah. So what will you also tell the opposition leaders? So generally the opposition leaders in
generally.
Cameroon.
So opposition leaders, how I wish they could do this, Mimi. How I wish they could come as a team. How I wish they could work more like a team, collaborators, not being divided, not seeing things from a different perspective. If they could come together as a team, as a family, and build Cameroon together, I'll be so happy because we are all fighting for one battle, making Cameroon great again, like America, making Cameroon great again. And Cameroon has always been a great country. And so we are making it great, more greater and greater and greater. And so my message to the candidates right now is that team up yourself and make Cameroon more greater because Cameroon deserves the best because we have the best and we deserve just the best. So that's my message to the candidate. Don't be divided. Come together as a family, come together as a team. And that's how I see that we can actually build Cameroon.
Thank you so much, Oliver, for joining us today. Thank you. We hope to have you some other time again. And that was Oliver Nshom. He is joining us all the way from the United States of America, a young Cameroonian with very, very bright future. He says he wants to be a pilot, but now he's also a motivational speaker. I hope he motivated you well enough to think about what to do in the upcoming presidential election, particularly on the 12th of October. Thank you for watching, and until we meet again, goodbye.